Now, as we know, the coronavirus is incredibly serious and it has delayed many movies, canceled a ton of different events and festivals, so let's talk about it. What's going on again, you guys? James here, and yes, I understand it is a little weird. We're living in very hectic and chaotic times, but this virus is incredibly serious. And honestly, if you're not already washing your hands frequently or using at least 60% alcohol hand sanitizer, you should probably use that if you can't wash your hands right away. But this is incredibly real, and it's affecting not only domestically here in the United States, but across the entire globe. So before I dive into what was canceled today, and of course in the last week or so, what has been canceled, if this is your first time here at the channel, welcome to Real James. Now, I love talking about movies and TV, and I love being happy and so zany and funny, but the thing is sometimes it gets a little real here. Honestly, it gets a little serious, and we like to have these discussions too. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the big red button below and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to hit that like button and share this with all your friends if you haven't already. There's a little bell next to the subscribe button. Tap that too. And also, guys, I'm going to need your comments below. Let me know what you think about this. I'm going to say this. It's a blanket term. What do you think about the coronavirus? How do you feel about it? You can talk to me about anything. It can be movies or it could just be your feelings on it in general, but let me know in the comments below and let's have that conversation. Alrighty, so let's hop into the news that you might have heard and you might not have heard. But if you're like me, your head is spinning all over the place. So let's go ahead and just break down each and every news story that unfortunately Hollywood and the rest of the world has been affected by when it comes to movies and cinema. So at the top of the list is Tom and Rita Hanks. They both were tested positive for the coronavirus in Australia. Unfortunately, they have it, and it sucks. It really, really sucks. I mean, of course, there are two of, I'm sure, thousands and thousands that have gotten it over on that side of the world. But, listen, we're just praying for them, and I'm really, really hoping they come out of this even healthier than they did coming into it. So I don't even know what to think, because it's kind of crazy just to go and read Tom Hanks' his Instagram post. If you haven't seen it, there should be a graphic on the screen below. But it is a little scary because it gets real. I mean, it was real before, but when you see that, you almost think, okay, now it's almost in my backyard, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm really praying that they feel so much better. And when it comes to movie news, if you recall, a few weeks ago, I think it was, I did a video on 007 No Time to Die. It's Daniel Craig's last go at James Bond. That has been delayed until November after, of course, being expected in April. It's not the longest delay that we're going to talk about today, but it's long enough to where it caused and actually created a ripple effect across Hollywood. These big studios are like, well, listen, if 007 did it, we should too. And if you missed the statement from MGM, I'll go ahead and read it here. MGM, Universal, and Bond producers Michael G. Wilson and Barbara Broccoli announced today that after careful consideration and thorough evaluation of the global theatrical marketplace, the release of No Time to Die will be postponed until November 2020. More specifically, November 12th in the UK, and a little bit later, November 25th in the US. So right before that holiday window, the Thanksgiving window. It's really surprising for me because I didn't think they'd do it, but even though they're losing money now, I think that they would have lost even more if they would have released it. And of course, theaters have been quarantined or closed off, and yeah, it would have been really scary. Now, this is news that actually broke today, and I was at my desk at work, and I got the email, and I saw John Krasinski's tweet, but A Quiet Place Part 2 has been delayed indefinitely. We don't know when the new release date is going to be, but I can just read John Krasinski's tweet right here. He says, "To all our A Quiet Place fans, one of the things I'm most proud of is that people have said our movie is one you have to see all together. Well, due to the ever-changing circumstances of what's going on in the world around us, now is clearly not the time to do that. As insanely excited as we are for all of you to see this movie, I'm gonna wait to release the film till we can see it all together. So here's to our group movie date. See you soon," and nothing else. I mean, no date, nothing. It's surprising because for us, local press here in Miami, we were supposed to get this screening on Monday of next week, and we are not getting that anymore. It's going to be postponed, TBA essentially, to be announced down the road. It's not upsetting. I'm actually okay with that because I think a lot of these bigger studios are starting to realize, we have to think of people, and if they're not wanting to go to the theater, but they're challenged with the fact that they can only see this movie in theaters, we don't want to force them and force their hand essentially to go to the movies, especially with this pandemic. And it's scary, but Again, it's a sound, not only a business move, honestly, it's just a sound human move to do. Let's go ahead and move on to the next movie that got a huge delay, and this is the biggest delay so far, and I think it will be the biggest delay all year. Fast 9, the 9th installment in the Fast and Furious series, has been delayed until April 2021. I saw that news and my jaw literally hit the ground because I didn't expect Universal to delay the movie so much. I figure, okay, maybe later on in the year, maybe they'll try to compete with 007, who knows? I mean, the movie, no matter where you place it, is going to make money, but they care a lot more, I guess, about getting it out altogether globally. And right now, China's not getting any movie screened there. I mean, literally, all the theaters are closed. So, of course, their market being a big market overseas and internationally, they're not going to open. And even domestically, I mean, you're seeing a lot of people less inclined to go to movie theaters, so they figure, let's do an entire year. And I'm sure what that does is also push back the pre-production and production phases for Fast 10, which, of course, is probably going to be the last Fast and Furious movie according to Vin Diesel, but we'll see. So the official release actually says here, and I'm going to skip through it a little bit, we are moving the global release date to April 2021, with North America opening on April 2nd. So the original date, of course, was next month, or 2 months, excuse me, May 22nd. That would have been ideal for them because you're getting right into that summer groove and this movie's going to crush at the box office. Films are actually going away from Fast 9, but now it's fair game, but I don't see a lot of studios releasing their bigger movies anywhere over the next 3 months, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. And a couple other tidbits here. Peter Rabbit 2, The Runaway, it now releases on August 7th. Its original date was April 3rd, so we're not getting that movie, well, I wouldn't say anytime soon, but we're not getting it when we were expecting to get it either. Now, when it comes to festivals, I don't know if you guys know about CinemaCon in Vegas, but it's a huge movie expo, and that was delayed indefinitely. If not, I think it's canceled. And then you have the Miami Film Festival, which was actually canceled today all the way through the end of its run, which was on Sunday. I feel so bad for the filmmakers, honestly, that were debuting their movies for the first time in front of a live audience, and they can't do that right now. And yes, Miami Film Festival is not going to postpone anything. They're just canceling the rest of the festival. We'll see you again next year. It's a great festival. I actually really like it. There's been some good movies that I've seen this year. There's been some duds, but you know, that happens at a festival. The thing is, I love seeing the reactions of people who are going to a red carpet for the first time. It's beautiful. It's wonderful to see, and it stinks that they won't be able to close out the weekend strong. Man, this is just crazy. Okay, so what we're going to do now is just go through some of the bigger releases over the next few months and how they might be affected. I mean, you have Mulan on March 27th. Now, I'm not saying anything, but I'm saying something. I may or may not have already seen this movie, and I can't comment on it. But what I can tell you is that Disney hasn't said one word about whether they're going to delay the Mulan release. I don't think that it will do very well in China right now because clearly box offices are closed. I mean, people are not watching movies right now over there. They're worried for their own health, rightfully so. So that's still going on. However, there are rumblings that it might get postponed. And if that's the case, I can see Disney's other big film, Black Widow, getting delayed as well. Even though Black Widow's coming out May 1st, I still think there's a good chance that if Mulan gets pushed back, so does Black Widow. I mean, the MCU thrives on that international market, and I think that this is a big movie internationally. People love this character. Looking through the calendar, I can't skip over the New Mutants, which is actually coming out April 3rd. Do have a screening for it this month. I don't know if it'll still get released or if it'll get released digitally. Who knows? I think at this point, you're going to start to see over the next few weeks movies getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back because it's not worth it to release it now, especially in this climate, like I've been saying. Another big release that I kind of did forget about when I was making this list, but I remembered at the last minute, Spiral, which is May 15th. I mean, it's a Saw movie. You can just expect a crowd no matter what. Now, some people might not get the correlation, but I'm sure the marketing leading up to it will draw that connection and people will come out. It's a horror movie and it's Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson. Why would you not see that film? Another one for the kids, of course, is SpongeBob movie Sponge on the Run. That is May 22nd, and I do not think that one gets delayed. However, again, anything could happen, but I think SpongeBob doesn't get delayed, and I believe Spiral will still get released. Now, the other movies I think that will get delayed are New Mutants, Black Widow, and Mulan. I have no doubt in my mind that once Mulan gets delayed, which I think it will, of course, I'm speculating here, I'm not saying anything as fact, I see the domino effect happening down the line. Now, here's a June 5th release that, yes, is far ways out, man. We're not even thinking about it that much right now, but Wonder Woman 1984, a movie that I'm super excited for. I think it will still get its regular release because by then, I'm praying that we have a vaccine or it just kind of goes away. But yeah, I can see Black Widow getting delayed, and if it does, I would imagine Warner Brothers goes back to the table and thinks, okay, should we do the same thing too? Because I don't know if we're going to reach a wider audience. Again, case by case basis, every single day numbers are changing, people are recovering from this, but it's still very serious, and I don't think anyone wants to be cramped up in a theater for 2 hours, 2.5 in some cases, to watch a movie and possibly be more at risk for contracting this virus. I mean, especially the older audience. You know, this is not a virus that, of course, discriminates based on age, but if you're older, unfortunately, you're more at risk. So that's the big news of the day. Quiet Place 2 getting delayed, Fast 9 getting heavily delayed. We know James Bond is getting delayed, Peter Rabbit, some conventions getting canceled, Miami Film Festival, and I think that we're going to start to see that domino effect again trickle down the line, and we're going to see Mulan, Black Widow, maybe even a Wonder Woman go ahead and get delayed. But you guys gotta let me know what you think in the comments below. How do you feel about all these cancellations and delays? Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and again, stay safe out there, okay? I'm not even gonna ask you to subscribe, but just stay safe. Wash your hands, cough into your arm, and if you cough into your arm, do not give someone an elbow as a substitute for a high five. Don't do that. Just go ahead and stay healthy. And I'm just gonna keep praying that all this goes away, man, and it will. I'm really confident that it will. Oh, and before I sign off, if you see the hunt on the board there, you're correct, your eyes don't deceive you. I'm actually going to be dropping that review on Friday, so tomorrow, but it's not top of mind. It's a really bad film, but we'll talk about it, I promise. So again, you guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you at the next screening.